In a stunning turn of events, Donald Trump has taken the lead in the Commonwealth of Virginia. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today we have to talk about the 2024 presidential election because Donald Trump has taken the lead in Virginia. Yeah, that's right. That's not a misquote. That's not, a misunderstanding. No. According to RCP, Donald Trump has taken the lead in Virginia, which I still cannot believe that this is real. I really thought when I first saw this was a typo. But nope. As of now, July 18th, 2024, Trump has a lead in Virginia. A state that back in 2020 voted for Biden by over 10 points. Yeah, that same state has polling that as of now has Trump winning. Again, I still have my doubts about this because you're talking about a state that hasn't voted Republican in 20 years. Well, now that same state might go Republican in 2024, which, just imagine saying that just a couple months ago. Hell, just a week ago. Because yes, while most people thought it is going to be much closer than it was back in 2020, and most people agreed with that, no one actually thought that Trump is going to potentially win the state. Hell, I didn't even believe it until, well, this average came out. I really thought that it was going to be much closer, but at the end of the day, there's just no way Trump can pull it off because it's Virginia. Like I said, it's a Biden plus 10 state. It hasn't voted Republican in 20 years. And yes, it has Youngkin as a Republican governor, but outside of that, Republicans have had virtually no success here in 20 years. But now I'm starting to believe, okay, Trump could actually win Virginia, and I cannot believe I'm saying that. I should be clear, I am not saying he's going to, because we're in July, things could change, but at this point in time, we're in July. We're 4 months out from the election. I understand that things could change, but we've been saying this for months. Hell, as we get closer to the election, it seems like the polling has gotten worse for Biden. And now you're hearing that he might drop out this weekend, which would be a disaster for Democrats. But either way, the fact that we're talking about Virginia is just insane. But you notice, it's not just some random pollster that has Trump with a lead. It's Emerson, one of the best pollsters out there. Are they perfect? No. But I would say overall, they are a good pollster. And right now, they have Trump winning Virginia by 2 points. Hell, VCU a couple weeks ago, they released a Trump plus 3 poll, actually a couple days ago, I should say. Outside of the New York Times poll, which was Biden plus 3, which is just pathetic, Biden hasn't had a significant lead in Virginia in months. You have to go back, not just months actually, you have to go back to last year when there was a poll that had Biden outside the margin of error for a lead. Now, every poll has been within the margin of error or a Trump lead. This is not good for Biden. I don't see how Democrats can look at this and say, well, this is actually good news for Joe. And even then, some people are saying, well, if they replace Kamala Harris with Joe, well, maybe, just maybe, it's gonna save them. Nope. Emerson College asked the question about Trump versus Harris. Trump still has a 2-point lead. Hell, when you include RFK, Cornel West, Jill Stein, Trump's lead expands to 5 points. Yeah. So there's a chance, if you include the other third-party candidates on the ballot, Trump could win Virginia by 5 points. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I still think that's such an unlikely scenario. But I really believe, compared to just a couple weeks ago, the possibility of Virginia not only being close, but actually flipping Republican is entirely possible. It's gone up quite a bit. Especially with news of Biden possibly dropping out. They may replace him with Kamala Harris. It just, either way, this isn't good. And before I forget, yes, this poll was conducted post-assassination attempt. So for those asking and wondering, yeah, this is after the fact Trump got shot at. And he has a 2-point lead in Virginia. But what does this mean for the electoral map? Because I don't think some people understand how significant this is. Now, this was the map going into 2024. This is like the start of the year. Like, okay, what states were the toss-ups? Obviously, it was Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. These 6 states, most people agreed were going to decide the election. If Trump were to win, 4 of the 6, he was going to win. If Biden won 4 of the 6, even 3 of the 6, he was going to win also. But now, if Trump is up in Virginia, how the hell can Biden win Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, or Pennsylvania? How? I'm being serious. If he's losing Virginia, how the hell is he competitive in states like Georgia and Wisconsin? I know these are different states, but you're talking about an 11-point shift in Virginia. And I know the demographics of Virginia, they are much different than Pennsylvania, than Michigan. I understand that. But do you really think Trump can somehow win Virginia but lose the Rust Belt? I guess it's possible, but I find it so unlikely. But okay, let's just say that these 6 states are still toss-ups, whatever. And you may argue that Georgia might be Republican, but let's just say fine. Let's say these 6 are still somehow competitive. Now, let's include Virginia. Well, at that point in time, you have to include Minnesota. You have to include even New Mexico, Nebraska 2nd, Maine at large. Hell, New Jersey. We've seen the polling. New Jersey is much closer than it was back in 2020. That doesn't mean it's going to flip, but if you're talking about Virginia, you're talking about Minnesota, hell, we know the Trump campaign is targeting New Jersey. You have to include that state as well. And also, you could say New Hampshire. I still have doubts about it. But you notice a problem for Biden? Trump has to win just a couple states. Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, and that's it. If he wins these 3 states, he's got the presidency. This is a problem that Biden has. Because now, not only can he afford to lose just 2 states, he can afford 2 states and that's it. Actually, he can afford only 1 state in a scenario that Pennsylvania goes Republican. But let's say, okay, he loses Georgia, Arizona, and let's say even Nevada. Because the polling in Nevada looks bad for Biden. It sounds like the campaign has just given up on the state. Well, at that point, Biden has to run the table in every single state. This is the biggest problem with, Biden's chances. He has to win every single toss-up to hold on. And just barely. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm not saying that Virginia is going to flip. But if Trump is really competitive there, this becomes a much bigger problem for Biden because he has to hold on to everything. Is it possible? Maybe. But his chances of winning have gone down dramatically because he has to defend. Wait, how many states is that? Well, that's like 7 or 8 states he has to defend. I know people are going to say, well, New Jersey's not that competitive, but we'll just say it is. Because if he's doing good in Virginia, he's probably doing pretty good in New York and New Jersey. But either way, Biden has to hold on to every single one of these states. If he loses just one, like Wisconsin, it's over. And more than likely, he's going to lose Michigan. He's going to lose Pennsylvania. But now the polling's indicating he's probably down in Virginia. If he's down there, he's probably losing Minnesota. He's probably going to lose Nebraska 2nd at that point. Hell, you could argue about Maine at large. Even New Hampshire, which I still have my doubts about. Even New Mexico. This is the problem Biden has. There's a good chance of this happening. I still have my doubts, but compared to a week ago, the chances of Trump winning in a landslide like this has gone up dramatically. And if he does, I don't see how Democrats recover. Because more than likely, if Trump is winning Virginia, Minnesota, New Mexico, more than likely, Republicans have a huge Senate majority. They have a big House majority. They got the presidency. They got the Supreme Court. You're talking about an election that could possibly kill a party. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But if Trump is the person that gets 347 electoral votes, it's going to take years for the Democrat Party to recover. because that's an embarrassment. That is the reverse of 2008. And remember, Republicans nearly died after 2008. If it wasn't for Trump, the party would be dead right now. So they gotta find their next Obama, which I honestly have no clue who that's gonna be. Maybe Shapiro? Maybe, I guess. But outside of that, I mean, who do they got? And this is why Democrats, this is not just a short-term problem. Because do you really think, there's a chance, I guess, but do you really think if you lost these voters now that they're gonna vote Democrat in 4 years? Maybe if Republicans pick, some shit candidate like John Kasich, maybe. But I don't think that's likely. Do you really think you can win these people back? I don't know. These voters have been voting Democrat for years, not just years, for generations. Look at Minnesota. It hasn't voted Republican since Nixon. And now there's a good chance Trump wins it. Trump is winning Virginia at this point. He's up in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. But if this really does happen, which I'm still having doubts about, but I don't know at this point. If this really does happen, this would possibly be the most ironic thing ever, because of all the presidential candidates Republicans ran over the course of, 40 years since Reagan? It would be Trump to win in a landslide. Of all the candidates, there's a chance it's Trump to finally break through and win in a landslide. Which is just, still boggles my mind, but it's possible now. It's just crazy to think, but we're at the point now where, yeah, if Trump is up in Virginia, a state that Biden won by 10 points, it's entirely possible he is winning Minnesota. He's going to win New Mexico. There's a chance in New Hampshire, a chance in Maine. But again, we cannot get overconfident about this. We saw what happened in 22. We cannot get cocky. But just look at this map. If we get out and vote, there's a possibility of this happening. And I'm starting to think as we get closer to the election, it becomes more likely. Which is crazy to say, I know, but we're in July. Just a month ago, we would have not had Virginia, Minnesota, New Mexico, hell, even New Jersey, even talked about us flipping. Maybe closer, but we were not talking about them flipping. But now, we are. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.